Devil Worship in France, of the Question of Lucifer, a record of things seen and heard in the secret societies according to the evidence of initiates, by A.E.Waite. The first in this plot was Lucifer, Thomas Vaughan. Preface. The term modern Satanism is not intended to signify the development of some new aspect of old doctrine concerning demonology, or some new argument for the personification of the evil principle in universal nature. It is intended to signify the alleged revival, or at least the reappearance to some extent in public, of occultus diabolicus, or formal religion of the devil, the existence of which, in the Middle Ages, is registered by the known facts of the Black Sabbath, a department, however, of historical research, to which full justice yet remains to be done by the hypothesis such a religion may assume one of two forms, and may be a worship of the evil principle as such, namely a conscious attempt on the part of human minds to identify themselves with that principle, or it may be the worship of a power which is regarded as evil by other religions, from which view the worshippers in question dissent. And it goes back much further than Christianity. The necessity for this distinction I shall make apparent in the first chapter of this book. A religion of the darkness, submitting under each of these distinctive forms, is said to be in practice at the present moment, and to be characterized, as it was in the past, by strong evidence of miracles. In other words, by transcendental phenomena of a very extraordinary kind, connecting in a direct manner with what is generally termed black magic. Now, black magic in the past may have been imposture, reinforced by delusion, and a state that is recurring at the present day does not commit anyone to opinion upon its veridical origin. To say also that the existence of modern diabolism has passed from the region of rumor into that of exhaustive and detailed statement is to record a matter of fact, and I must add that the evidence at hand, whatever its ultimate value, can be regarded lightly by those only who are unacquainted with its extent and character. The evidence is broadly of three kinds: the testimony of independent men of letters who would seem to have come in contact therewith, the testimony volunteered by former initiates of such secret associations as are dedicated to occultus diabolicus. Not all satanic societies are secret societies, both in the past and in the present, but certainly under Christendom, or presumed Christendom, that could be the thing. The testimony of certain writers claiming special sources of information and defending some affected interest of the Roman Catholic Church. My purpose in this book is to distinguish, so far as may be possible, what is true form, what is false in the evidence, from what is false in the evidence, and I have undertaken the task, firstly, because modern mystics are accused en masse of being concerned in this cultus. Secondly, because the existence of modern Satanism has given opportunity to a conspiracy of falsehood, which is wide in its ramifications and serious on account of its source. Thirdly, because the question itself has awakened considerable interest both within and without transcendental circles, and it's desirable to replace hazy and exaggerated notions by a clear and formal statement. I have connected the new diabolism with France in my title, because the evidence in each of its kinds has been filled by French writers, and we have no other sources of information for this particular set of cults. So far as that evidence is sound, we have to thank France for its producing it. But on the other hand, should it prove that the whole city of invention has been constructed, with its spires and gateways, upon a meagre basis of fact, it is just that French imagination should have full credit for the decorative art which has adorned this question of Lucifer. The plan of my work had been sketched and a number of chapters written, when I found myself, to some extent, preceded by a writer well known to occultists under the pseudonym of Preface, who has quite recently published a small brochure entitled Le Diable et le Occultisme. I think that's how you pronounce it, which is a brief defense of transcendentalists against the accusations in connection with Satanism. I gladly yield to M. Pappas the priority in time, which is possible to well-informed gentlemen at the center of the conspiracy. His little work, however, does not claim to be either a review or a criticism, and does not, therefore, in any sense, cover the ground which I have traveled. It is an exposition, an exoneration of his own school of mystic thought, which is that of the Martinist, and I have mentioned it in this connection in its proper place. And obviously, both ancient and modern, there's bound to be a lot more information about Satanism in the future on my channel. And there was a sequel that was not published to this work, and which means that I won't be sharing it, but I do have it. Diana Vaughan and the Question of Modern Palladism. It has a preface, which I think is written by R.A. Gilbert. You might want to pick up R.A. Gilbert's book, published by is it Red Rail Wiser or Wiser Books? The Conspiracy in Outline, The Railleries of Dr. Bataille, maybe, The Margiotta Embroilment, The Trent Congress and Diana Vaughan, The Secret Doctrine of Albert Pike, Women in Freemasonry, Who is Diana Vaughan, Some Consequences of the Conspiracy, Conclusion, and the press opinions. I don't know whether I should share the press opinion. Oh, well, there's some interesting quotes, but I don't know where they are. Remember, one of the things that we're going to mention in terms of Shayateen Min al Jinn, you may want to check out the Shayateen playlist, the Iblis playlist, and the Jinn playlist in my folder. And you'll find some linguistic secrets as well among that. Every male or female being that is accepting of worship, these things that were called gods and goddesses of old, Shayateen Min al Jinn, if they're of a metaphysical nature. Now, humans can be becoming a living demon and actually want worship themselves. And I find anybody who wants worship, I find, for themselves, I find no apprehension in calling them demons. And some people are well pleased with that title.